listening to the Agent Survival Guide podcast, a podcast for today's insurance agents. Informing, educating, empowering, improving the way you do business in an industry that's anything but static.
In today's episode, unlock skills to use adaptability to your advantage and implement it into your everyday life. The workplace is always evolving and innovating with modern culture and technology. To keep your personal and professional progress from staying static, it's important to be open and adaptable to new situations and people. Soft skills, also known as emotional intelligence, are increasingly sought out in the professional world. We've covered negotiation as a soft skill in a previous episode. If you haven't already, be sure to give that a listen. You can find it in the episode notes. Some examples of soft skills include problem solving, communication, empathy, listening skills, adaptability, and a lot more. We're focusing on how to harness adaptability and use it to your advantage. Typically, we adapt when situations change and obstacles arise, but it's harder for some than others. It's important to note that adaptability does not mean abandoning your core beliefs and changing who you are. If that's asked of you, it's probably better to move on from that environment. Adaptability is the ability to adjust your thinking and actions according to a new environment or situation. If you're set on one method or one outcome, you might miss out on great opportunities. Perfectionism is a double-edged sword. If you know you're the type of person to easily get flustered when there's a change in plans or an outcome is not what you expected, it's good practice to have methods that help you ground yourself and recenter your focus. You won't always know what's going to happen in life, but you can be prepared to address changes and uncertainty when they come your way. That's what it means to be adaptable. Finding that balance in this practice is difficult, but we're hoping some of our tips can help with that. First tip. Keep calm, process the situation, and move forward. Our podcast host, Sarah, has mentioned before on the show, rule the day, don't let the day rule you. Simply because one thing has thrown a wrench in your schedule or plans doesn't mean the whole situation or day is a loss. If you learn to keep your composure with smaller changes, it can help build mental strength to deal with high-stakes scenarios. Create a ritual for yourself to pull you out of fixating on the negative thing that has happened. This can be an internal mantra or something physical like a breathing exercise or taking a quick walk outside. When we fixate too much, it makes it difficult to move forward and find a solution to the problem. That's why the skill of adaptability is essential in the modern workforce. Innovation is faster than it's ever been. You must keep up if you want to stay in the game. Patience and positive thinking are a big part of this step. If you're able to, excuse yourself from the situation to take a quick breather to practice your ritual. If you're unable to, this is where a mantra comes in handy. You can repeat it to yourself internally or write it on your notepad. One of my rituals is getting myself a drink, not the hard stuff, usually coffee or tea, because I need to brew it first. The practice of waiting for it to brew allows me to take a moment to process. The physical act of making the drink allows me to focus my thoughts on it. Then, when it's ready, I've had a moment to recenter myself, and now I have the comfort and familiarity of my favorite drink. And I'm ready to tackle what's in front of me. This practice is great for when I'm at home or in between meetings at the office. But if I'm out and about, that's when a mantra comes in handy. Let's explore some scenarios. Say a lead you were communicating with decided not to continue with you as their agent. You were excited to work with them to find coverage. You were under the impression the two of you had a good connection and it would lead to working together. But things suddenly changed. Or maybe you just got new printed marketing materials for your business. They are shiny and ready to go. Then CMS announces a new change to marketing rules. Now all your materials are obsolete, and you have to start the process over. You might feel blindsided in situations like these, especially if you're a new agent. In your career, it's likely you'll encounter situations like these and bigger ones. It takes intent and practice to pick yourself up after a curveball. Once you've taken a pause to catch your breath and mentally catch up, it's time to assess the situation to determine your course of action. Break down the problem into parts and focus on the ones you're directly responsible for. For example, an update from CMS might encompass different areas of the industry: field marketing organizations, carriers, and agents. First, break it down into parts, separating by category. For example, one category could be the tasks that you as an agent are responsible for. You can divide those categories even further by separating the ones that are time sensitive into their own category. By tackling the tasks that are time sensitive and the ones you are directly responsible for first, you will gain a sense of autonomy in the situation. After that's done, then you can tackle the items that aren't time sensitive. This leads me into my second tip. Be prepared for the unexpected. How can you be prepared for what you don't know? It's easy to imagine the perfect scenarios in your head or think that something will stay the same. But that way of thinking will stunt your personal and professional growth. Keep an open mind. Greet new things with curiosity, ask questions, adjust your mindset according to the situation, and have patience. These will all truly help you prepare for the unknown. You may not always be in control of the situation, but you can control how you respond to it. Exercising your adaptability skills can take you from surviving the day to thriving in your career. Here's my third and final tip. Learn what to let go of and what to keep pursuing. No one gives us an instruction manual for life. We learn as we go from our experiences. When a challenge or change comes your way, it can be hard to know when to keep working on it and when to let go. Adaptability is not only about welcoming new things, but also about letting go of the things that are not working or serving you. Always approach a new scenario with an open mind and curiosity. Don't be rigid and close yourself off. Adjust your thinking accordingly. For some changes, we might not have the choice of what we can let go of. For example, you can't choose to follow some CMS rules and not all of them. When it comes to situations where you can choose to pursue or let go of a change, there are ways to help determine your next course of action. One way you can determine it is by asking questions. Ask yourself questions. Research if you can. Ask the people around you questions. Find out all you can about the curveball that's been thrown at you. Some questions you can ask yourself. Does this change positively or negatively affect me? How does it affect the people around me? Does this conflict with my core beliefs? What part of the situation am I directly in control of? Am I willing to use my time and energy to implement or follow this change? There are a lot of questions you can ask. Getting them answered will give you a better sense of the situation. Put your mind at ease from guessing and filling in the blanks, so you're able to make an educated course of action. Another way to help prepare you is by staying on top of industry news. Be sure you're following along with the Agent Survival Guide podcast to be one of the first to know about breaking news and industry trends. You can follow the podcast wherever you like to listen. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next episode. The Agent Survival Guide podcast is a production of Ritter Insurance Marketing, an integrity company. This episode was written and produced by me, Tina Lamoureux. Script editing by Sarah Ruppel. Design by Urban Rivera. Artwork by Vivian Zhao. Remember to rate and review the show on Apple or Spotify.